Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. And now let's dive into a delightful little get-together that sounds like a setup for a bad joke. Chinese soldiers have arrived in Belarus for a joint counter-terrorism exercise. Yeah, you heard that right. The Chinese People's Liberation Army is in Belarus, participating in military drills with Alexander Lukashenko's finest. It's like a crossover episode of the world's two least fun TV shows. According to the Belarusian Ministry of Defense, these exercises aim to exchange experiences and coordinate units, because nothing says effective military strategy like pairing up the world's most authoritarian regime for a little bit of light terror busting. They even put out a special press release to inform us of this brilliant plan. Apparently, this joint effort will lay the groundwork for further development of Belarusian-Chinese military relations. That's right, folks, Belarus and China, the new power couple in international oppression. So the Chinese aircraft landed at a military airfield in the Brest region, which conveniently borders Poland. After settling into temporary bases just kilometers from the Polish border, the rivals will commence the drills, which are said to feature several thrilling components. We can only imagine the excitement of Polish nationals knowing that such charming neighbors are playing war games right next door. Belarusian propagandists, never one to miss the beat, are touting these exercises as another step in building a military bloc to counter NATO's so-called aggressive actions. Yes, NATO, that ever-threatening alliance of democratic nations, daring to defend themselves against authoritarian bullies. The nerves. And let's not forget the mastermind behind it all, Vladimir Putin, because when it comes to international intrigue and military posturing, you can't bet Putin has his fingerprints all over it. It's like a game of chess where the players don't understand the rules but keep flipping the board out of sheer spite. And there it is, a coalition of the willing to do whatever it takes to look tough and authoritarian. Congratulations, China and Belarus, you've managed to turn a routine military exercise into a global eye roll. And for Putin, is just another day at the office, stirring the pot and hoping no one notices the kitchen is on fire. And now let's talk about the latest heartwarming update from Russia's ongoing disaster in Ukraine. Recently, soldiers from the 506th Motorized Rifle Regiment posted a video on social media, pleading with President Vladimir Putin for immediate action and permission to evacuate from the battlefield. Yes, Russian soldiers appealing directly to their glorious leader, essentially saying, "Please, Mr. Putin, can we stop dying now?" These soldiers fighting near Avdiivka detailed the horrific decisions made by their commanders and the massive casualties that their unit has sustained in effect. In the video, they admitted, "We're absolutely powerless against artillery." They're claiming their command wants to utilize them, which is ultimately a lovely euphemism for get rid of them. Only about 50 soldiers are left from the entire regiment. They recount being sent repeatedly into enemy fire without any artillery support, losses are ignored, bodies are left for months, and the wounded wait weeks for evacuation. It's a military strategy that sounds suspiciously like, let's see how quickly we can get everyone killed.
Значит, 506-й полк, 2-й батальон. Нас зашло примерно около 350 человек. Вышло вот пока 4. За остальных мы не знаем. Есть несколько человек 300-х, которые мы погрузили и отправили. То есть на данный момент нас хотят отправить обратно. ВК нет, по нам идет плотный огонь артиллерии. Никто ни разу не выстрелил из оружия. То есть работает чисто артиллерия, только артиллерия. Мы попадали под 155-й снаряды, под кассеты. То есть дошло до определенной точки, даже не группа, а несколько людей. Все остались просто спасаться.
А вам работает только артиллерия?
Дрон. Нам сказали, короче, то, что там никого нету, то, что там нет попроб. Вот. В итоге, как оказалось, там сидит полный поселок этих. Нас просто обманули, короче, нас просто послали, короче, на, ну, грубо говоря, просто на мясо, короче. Мы просто зашли, нас просто взяли в оцепление и просто разбили полностью, короче, всех, короче. Все, кто вот выжил, короче, вот, тут и как бы.
Нуждаемся в медицинской помощи. Хотя бы просто эвакуировать там раненых, там, 200-х, контуженных. Никого не укрыли, там валяется очень много 200-х, которые по полгода там лежат. Их не эвакуируют, вообще никто их даже не берет. И 300-е есть, которые без ног там вообще. Их тоже так же они лежат по неделями, там, по 2 недели.
Их не дают, то есть, забрать.
Не дают просто забрать, короче. Никто работает.
Орда, дроны работает, обстрел идет.
По группе эвакуации. Была группа эвакуации, 8 человек. 8 человек зашли с носилками, 2 группы по 4, обоих разъебало.
Now, the survivors are being sent on a suicide mission, likely to silence them. The commander don't care about their lives, they just want to make sure nobody talks. One soldier lamented, "We don't know what to do, they're sending us back against artillery. We're absolutely powerless." And the worst part? Their own promised artillery support is non-existent. So, congratulations, Vladimir Putin, your own troops are begging for mercy and pleading for basic human decency from their leaders. It's a level of incompetence and cruelty that truly sets you apart on the world stage. Now, this week we have Russian war correspondent Romanov, who decided to first label the Chechen as TikTok troops and then hilariously apologize. Yeah, apparently the elite forces of loyal Putin puppet Razman Kadyrov are so fearsome that they require retractions on social media. Meanwhile, Russian Defense Minister Shoigu may have left his post, but his legacy of the nonsense meat grinder assaults continue. It's a classic case of changing the wallpaper while the house is on fire. Romanov now calls on Minister Belarusov, saying, "Hello, are we going to do something to restore order on the front line? Our guys are dying." No kidding, Romanov. It's like realizing that the Titanic is sinking and asking, should we maybe do something about this water?
Ну, такая реальность. Вот, на границе у нас в Белгородской области, на границе с Харьковской областью стоят, вот прям на границе стоят срочники. Такая реальность. Тиктокеры стоят за ними. Вот, а срочники у нас впереди. Вот. Ну что, ждем развязки, ждем. Друзья, Романов в гостях у подразделения Ахмат, у АИДа. Хочу внести ясность, хочу внести разъяснение по следующим обстоятельствам. Недавно я выпустил видео, в котором дал свою субъективную оценку по состоянию дел в Харьковской области. Среди прочего, в видео проговорил, что за подразделениями срочников, стоящих на нуле, стоят, дословно было сказано, тиктокеры. Не буду юлить, имелось в виду подразделение Ахмат.
But let's get back to those TikTok troops. Kadyrov's Chechens, masters of pathetic battlefield theatrics, seem to excel at one thing: violence against internal critics. Because, let's face it, intimidating a small boy is a lot easier than fighting a burly man. It's like a hallmark of cowards, picking those who can't fight back. So there you have it. In Putin's Russia, soldiers are reduced to social media spectacles, defense strategies are laughably inept, and the real battles are waged against defenseless critics. It's a dark, twisted farce where the villains are tragically incompetent and the heroes are nowhere to be found. Bravo to everyone involved. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.